Billy Jacob was fresh out of prison, and the world didn't seem to want to know, or it didn't care. Either way, he was bound to land back in the slammer. That's the way it is for guys like Billy. Or the way it usually is. But a twist of fate in a small cafe handed Billy a chance to change the way of life that had kept him down for so long.
How's it going? None of my business, huh? Well, me and my friend there figure you look beat.
So?
Are you looking for work? Okay. Forget it. Depends.
Sure. How much experience I got, how much high school I got. I've been listening to that crap all my life.
Here. Tells you about a job development program run by Native people. I mean, check it out. What do you got to lose?
Huh? How much?
How much?
What's it going to cost me?
About 10 weeks of your time.
No, I mean money. How much is it going to cost me?
Nothing. The AIM Society and the government back it. And all you got to do is go down and apply.
Sure. All I got to do is go down and get the same old crap. I mean, why should they take me, man? I mean, look at me, man.
You can clean yourself up a little. I mean, this program is designed for guys like you. I mean, take me. I got out last summer after 10 years, and they had no problem with that. My friend here belongs to AA, and they still took him. Both of us have never held down a job for more than a year, and now we're both working. Keep it. You do what you want, but at least give it a chance. It's up to you. See you around.
I'll never forget how screwed up I felt after that run-in at the cafe. Thinking about what he said and why he bothered to say it. Maybe it was that cold showing in all the old faces. It didn't feel like home. Too much of nothing everywhere.
Okay, that's your salmon. You bring it in now. Give it more line. That's it. Don't get excited. Give it more line. That's it. Up. Okay. Get up. That's it. You look at me now. You've asked too much of the salmon. You know, you struggle with that salmon and the salmon struggle to get away. And that's the thing about our life, that we have to struggle. You have to have more patience, not to rush. I'm very, very proud to sit here and give you advice and encourage you to keep on and be somebody when you grow up. Learn a lot now with the salmon. The struggle that salmon had, that's the struggle that you have to have in life.
Walking into the Ames office was the hardest thing I ever done. It meant admitting that I needed help. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I didn't have much time to think about it once I got there. They wanted to know what I could do, what kind of work I've done, what my hobbies were. and what I wanted for myself, which at the time was a good question. And they wanted the names of two people who knew me real well. Because of my history, I wasn't sure I should name any. I had to wonder what people would say about me when I couldn't come up with anything good about myself.
Hi, Billy. So. Okay. You're living in the city?
Yeah, down on Main. Just a room.
Okay. Well, I can promise you one thing. If you're going to succeed in this program, you're going to have to be totally committed. And you're going to have to follow through. We have a few rules set down. This to make sure that everyone gets the best for their 10 weeks. And those rules are, number one, no drugs or alcohol here or at the work site. Secondly, no pay advances. And third, you have to attend every day and be on time. And if you're sick, it's up to you to call us in the morning before 8:30 on work experience days and before 9 during life skills days. But you'll learn more about the schedule later.
Sounds like the slammer.
Except that we're here to help support you, but only as long as you're willing to help yourself. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Good. We have an orientation meeting in the morning, 10 o'clock. See you there.
Good morning, my brothers. Welcome to Ames Job.
Dominic
I'd
was
like
our
to,
life skills coordinator.
Share a few things with
He
you.
introduced us
in
to the
regards
program, and
what our
right away
program
from the
is all
start,
about.
he had a lot to say.
Ames Job Development consists of three equally important parts. The first is life skills, and it is basically based on our traditional native spiritual teachings and Indian medicine. And of course, we will be looking at communications, active listening, public speaking, learning to share and to relate in a better way. And we'll be working on assertiveness training, looking at our attitude, and also we'll look at working in the area of conflict resolution in terms of learning to handle our anger in a better way. And there's a new concept that's been introduced to Ames Job Development Life Skills, and that's control theory and reality therapy.
Some of it sounded pretty way out at first.
Be beginning to
I
touch
couldn't
base
tell
with
if
very
anyone
early in the
else was
program
getting it
is
either.
helping.
And then we move
to,
on
to
from
deal with
life
our
skills
feelings and our
to,
emotion to work experience. And basically it's set up to help you men to learn to develop and maintain responsible work habits. Some of us haven't been working for a long time. And then we move on from there to work placement. And in work placement, basically, we see you as being job ready. And so what we will be doing is moving to working on pre-employment skills development. And one of the things that we encourage you to do is to set up, I guess, a plan in which you can set up your own evaluation system so that you'll be able to find the job that, that will be suitable for you. And with that, I would like to say, once again, welcome to Ames Job Development, Group 13, and I sincerely hope that everything goes well for you.
Work experience was an improvement project on a community trail. The only thing I had to compare it to was work duty in the pen. Luckily, it's totally different.
Come on, get both your hands under it.
How much do you charge for advice? Okay, guys, lunchtime.
Guys, it's lunch.
Hello. We're ahead of schedule. You guys work good together.
All right, eh?
Yeah, all right.
How come they made you the group role model? You more time than us?
Me? No. Maybe it's because they know how bad I want to make it here. Came home from Ontario when I was just a kid. As soon as I got off the bus, I walked into trouble. After that, it was just one slammer after another. But this time, I'm gonna get a real job, take control of my own life. How about you, Johnny?
I don't know. I've been boozing it ever since I can remember. First started in a reserve in Calgary. Worked a Stampede. That was only about 2 weeks. Been bumming around ever since then. Never had a real job.
How about you?
Me? What slammer you want to know about? Take your pick.
I would like to introduce you to the Life Skills program, an opportunity for us to look within ourselves so that we can begin to look at our lifestyle in terms of what we need to change. And some of the things that we will be doing will be very exciting. We're going to be learning a lot in regards to Native spirituality and Indian medicine, and we will be asking elders to come in to share with us, and also successful Native people who have been working for a number of years will come in to share their experiences with you in regards to employment. And we will also be doing a lot of work in terms of pre-employment skills development training. Some of us have come from the prisons, and some of us have come from the street. And so one of the things that we're going to be looking at in terms of where we're at in our life is we're going to look at what conflict and anger means in our life today.
What about a steady job?
What about a steady job? Well, after the 10th week, everybody will be moving on into work placement. And so during work placement, you'll get a chance to job. And for those that are going back to school, we'll certainly help you with all the paperwork and all the appointments that you need to set up. And I want you to remember, my brothers, that our program is successful because of the rules and the regulations of this program. And so I urge you to look at the rules and regulations again and to keep them on your person. And please do not try to test us in this, because we're very serious about our rules and regulations here, and this is why we're successful.
I always thought of foremen as toughs that where they were by pushing other people around. But Lou was always there for encouragement.
Good morning, men. Morning. Today we're going to be doing some work on learning to control our anger on the job. We'll be doing this through role play and acting out. Let's see. Alex, you see a hammer lying around and you need it. Johnny, this hammer belongs to you and you don't need it right now, but you've seen Alex pick it up. What you gonna do about it?
I'd clobber the SOB.
You'd hit him, and that would solve the problem?
Yeah.
You get fired or busted.
So, what's Johnny going to do about it? Alex, do you have another solution?
Yeah. He could tell me to give it back when I'm finished with it.
Where's his hammer? And what's he doing on the job without one?
Maybe he's 3 stories up, and he forgot his hammer on the ground.
I'd tell him to go down and get his own.
Don't you have to work with this guy every day?
Yeah. What if you had an emergency and needed my help? I'd tell you to get lost. You lend me the hammer?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
That makes more sense than losing a friendship.
Just give it back to me.
Friendship is something that's going to be very important for you on the job and also in the future. Now, can we move on to another problem?
Hose down the tools back at the shop, Johnny.
Nobody hosed them down last night.
Hey, stay cool, man. He just wants to see if you take orders.
Sounds like one of the guards.
Fighting position. Yeah. Punch. Hey, hip. Hey, hip.
We'd figured that martial arts was strictly self-defense, but that wasn't the idea. They wanted to teach us fitness, self-control, and help us work up some confidence in ourselves.
Down, meditate.
And the meditation stuff, just being cool and not thinking about anything, it felt good after a while. It was a lot like the smudge we had.
Oh, Great Spirit, we come before you, one of your many children. We come to you to ask for pity. We thank you for this good and holy day, for all the wonderful things that you provide for the people. Our shelter, our food, our water, and these sacred medicines and sacred teachings. And we give thanks to this day, O Great Spirit, for all the wonderful life forms you have created here on Second Mother Earth. The winged ones of the air, the four-leggeds, the ones that crawl and the ones that swim. We humbly ask you this day, O Great Spirit, and this I say with all my relations. Oh.
I realized how empty life has been without a spiritual identity to call my own. The smudge was the closest thing I ever had to come to prayer. I realized
These controls you see here are basically what used to be a place where it would be.
Field trips were a part of the group experience. They entered a world of unforgettable beauty at the Anthropology Museum, and Billy began to feel pride in his ancestry and culture. He discovered that a world of experience and information was stacked on the library shelves, and that he had access to it. It wasn't easy out at the job site. Most of us got it together.
Group 2! Push through.
Just one out.
Dialogue.
To hell with this.
What a screw-up. We warned him he'd get the axe, but who listens, eh? He got his letter, but if he's lucky, they might take him back another time. Stupid thing is, he had a lot of talent. Knew about electrical stuff, wiring, switches, and he blows his chance.
Good morning, men.
Morning. Morning.
We can talk all we want about confidence, you and I, in this private place of ours, but it's going to be different out there in the real world. You may have to work alongside people who are going to have a hard time working alongside you, and maybe one or two of them are going to give you a real rough time, but they won't succeed if you're in control. And so we're going to set up a real work situation here, and I'd like to ask Alex to come up here. And Alex, you're going to be the non-native person.
Yeah, Alex, we knew that.
And how about you, John? Would you like to come up here to work as the cook?
Everyone I know has run into some jerk who put him down one way or another. We learned guys like that will do it to anyone, native or not. If you don't get bent out of shape, they're the ones who can't get along. Makes sense when you think about it.
Action! Come on, Billy.
I gotta go. I gotta go, Doc.
Oh, come on, you're always. See you down the road, bitch.
A couple of days later, I was feeling lonely. Slipped and had a few drinks downtown. I started thinking about taking off for a while. I couldn't get it out of my head.
Dialogue.
What you're telling me is that you want to give up on the program, but you're not sure why? You want to toss away everything that you've gained? And what will you have to show for all your time down here? I don't believe I'm listening to the Billy Jacobs I know. And you don't either.
You don't know how I feel, man. I mean, you don't understand what makes a guy drink when he feels the way I do.
I don't know? Look, man, I've been there. More than once, alright? I do know what it's like. I also happen to know what can happen to a guy when he learns to walk away from his problems. Or tries to drown them in booze. 2 weeks more. It isn't that long. Think about it. But what brought you here? It's your decision.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe.
Yeah, you can have one. I want to get the box to stand up.
I have to admit, I was glad I stayed on. I got a kick out of seeing the trail finished. It looked great. I knew that a lot of people would be using it for years, and it felt good to have been part of something that would last. Seems like we built more than a path when I think about it. Take Johnny. Every time we came out here, he changed a little. He quit complaining and started to make sense. By the end, he was doing as much work as any of us. I guess I changed a bit myself. It's surprising how 10 weeks can fly by when something positive is happening. The 10 weeks of the program were a time of change. They opened doors to
new opportunities. We call this next unit Job Search. We will help you with your strengths and your assets and what you have to offer the job market. Then we will help you with your job applications and teach you how to handle yourself in an interview. Even hunting for a job is a skill. You will need to learn to budget your money so that you will be dependent on yourself. You will also need to understand the outside world and what is expected of you. Meanwhile, we'll see you at the ceremony tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.
Right here, this is duration of 10 minutes. What about the right here? What's this mean?
Oh, this is...
Taught me to swim, but my guts were still rolling around. And they were rolling a bit when I went up to receive an award for my work and attendance during the 10 weeks. I was glad that Johnny got the most improved prize, and Alex the top role model. I guess you could say our group did okay. My training took me on board a trawler. I never knew how much a guy had to know before he started out on his own boat. I'd crew on this trawler for a few seasons and learn while I saved.
Okay, just like this.
Oh.
Grandpa!
Ah, you have done it. Now you're worthy of your heritage.
And so it begins all over again. Every time someone admits to themselves that they need help, every time someone makes the decision to reach out for help. Billy Jacob found help on the road to recovery. Now you'll usually find Billy out on the waters around Steveston in his 32-foot trawler, not out on the street or in a slammer.